this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee! I hold thee not, yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? Hi, I'm Dave, and this is the Stage Page. Now, if you're a theater person or you're friends with theater people, you've likely heard one or both of the following things. First, a reference to the Scottish play. Second, somebody saying Macbeth, followed by a seeming bout of temporary madness, including spinning in circles, spitting, and swearing. Now, the simple explanation is that Shakespeare's play Macbeth is cursed, and that simply saying the name of the play in a theater when you're not performing or rehearsing said play is enough to incur the full wrath of the curse. But where did the curse come from? For that, we go to Scotland in 1563, where Mary, Queen of Scots, established the Witchcraft Act, which made the practice of witchcraft or consorting with witches a capital crime. Over 2,000 people were then executed over the next 150 years because of this act. The odd thing is, though, that when she gave birth to the man who would become James VI, King of Scotland, she actually resorted to witchcraft because of her difficult childbirth. She was in so much pain that she had a spell placed that would transfer her pain over to another person. Now, when James eventually did take power, he carried on this legacy of hunting witches, and at one point he was in a very difficult journey with his new wife on the sea, and they were in a really, really bad tempest, which he blamed witchcraft on. So, this intensified his search and hate of witchcraft. Now, in 1603, King James VI of Scotland became King James I, King of England. Now, back in those times, it was pretty normal for artists to cater their work to whatever the royalty was interested in. So, Macbeth came out during the reign of King James, and so witchcraft and the occult was a big part of that story. It's even rumored that the line the witches give about, "Yet he shall be tempest-tossed," is actually about that tempest I mentioned earlier of King James on the sea. Now, from here, the legend is that the spells that Shakespeare wrote into the scenes with the witches were actual spells taken from real-life witch covens. It's interesting because most of Shakespeare's writing is in iambic pentameter. Penta meaning 5. And so a normal line of Shakespeare would go da-da, 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 da-da. But all of the witches spoke in tetrameter, tetra meaning 4, or da-da, 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 da-da. So for example, you've got Macbeth's first line of the play, which is, "So foul and fair a day I have not seen." And then you've got lines from the witches like, "Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron, bubble." That's just one example that people show that maybe Shakespeare wasn't the originator of those parts of the lines. Now from there, the legend says that this coven of witches was upset with Shakespeare for appropriating their spells without asking permission. And so, legend says, they placed a curse on the play. And some of the results of this curse included, these are just rumors obviously, that the actor playing Lady Macbeth died the night of the first performance, and so Shakespeare himself had to go on to take over the role. There were also rumors that the dagger props used to kill Duncan were replaced with actual daggers, and that the actor playing Duncan was actually murdered. Throughout time, other things have happened with the play. Laurence Olivier was famously narrowly missed by a stage weight that fell down next to him during a production. And then there was a time in America where there were 2 productions of Macbeth happening, one led by an American actor, one led by an English actor, and there was a face down, essentially, that led to a huge riot that ended with 20 people being killed and over 100 people being injured. I myself have only experienced the curse of Macbeth one time, which was during a play that I did in my undergrad. It was funny because earlier on in the rehearsal process, our director said Macbeth, and she suddenly, she swore when she realized it. She ran out the door, She spun around 3 times, spit on the ground, swore, and then knocked on the door. So that cancels the curse out, as it were. But then, during performances, one of our actors up in the dressing room right above the stage said Macbeth and didn't do any of that. So then that night, during the curtain call, a piece of the set fell off and almost hit our actress in the head. And another one of our actors actually slammed his hand into a door of the set and had to yank it out. And when he did, he fell down some stairs to the ground. So now, as for the method of breaking the curse when you've accidentally incurred its wrath, of running out of the theater, spinning around 3 times, spit on the floor, swear, and knock to be let in, experts say that most of that comes from this idea of purging oneself of having said the name, which is the part of swearing, spinning around, and then that knocking on the door is actually a piece of vampire legend that has somehow been caught up in the Shakespeare myth. So, is it real? Who knows? I mean, you see it in every production. You'll see people say Scottish play rather than saying Macbeth. Do you have any stories of it happening to you? Because I would love to hear them. So drop them in the comments if you're interested. Either way, thanks for stopping by.